So you from Brooklyn? Real quick, we started that in 2020. My so the show You on Netflix. One of my exes was like, "Yo, you should watch this show. You should watch this show." And I was like, "What should we talk-" like? All right, like I'll get to it. Never, I just didn't get to it. Took that long. Then eventually, it's like December going on January. I'm like, let me just turn this thing on. Turn it on. I'm like, yo, this shit is fire.
Crazy.
But I actually had something called Apprehension. It was called Apprehension. Me and Malak, we filmed it with Nicolette. It was like this whole thing, and it was like based upon him being apprehensive about approaching this girl. And it was the same idea of You. I'm like, well, we kind of did this shit. Like, I'm not to say they saw our idea, because they probably see it on Instagram, and we put it out, and people fucked with it. So I'm like, yo, nah, I got to do something like where it's kind of basic. We did this already, so let me do something kind of based off of that. So I wrote something. It was gonna be in the subway at first, like he pulls up and he got thoughts in his head and the girl, but the original girl we had was like, oh, I got a uh she had like an appointment somewhere. She was lying. She didn't feel like doing it, honestly. Like I was just so, oh, can we just do it another day? I was like, um, you know how you can feel somebody's energy? You just didn't want to do it.
Hmm.
So I'm like, all right, fuck it. Like, scratch that idea. So I hit Alexa. I'm like, yo, Alexa, you free tomorrow? Because at this point it was late and I didn't want it. So, you free tomorrow? She's like, yeah. I was like, yo, we're going to film this thing. Like, we didn't really have it all the way for. I just had an idea of him being in his head about a girl. So me and Malak went to the grocery store. It was like down the block. Went there, we mapped it out. Like I still have all the BTS. I went on my phone.
Did somebody work there? Like, how did y'all also get access?
Well, we used to go there all the
Okay.
time. So we didn't ask though. We just went and did this shit. But I didn't ask. But so I went in there with my phone. I mapped it out. I was like, oh, like you walk down this way and come around. It's like you need something in your hand because you need something tangible. Like so, it's like you're fidgety. So I was like, oh, my dad used to eat grapes in the store and not pay for them when he was younger. So I thought of that shit. So I'm like, maybe a grape. So that worked. So then by the time Alexa came, it wasn't no like where we're gonna film it. We wasn't trying to think of an idea. We had it mapped out. By the time she came late. That's Alexa, that's it's gonna So we went over there around like 7 o'clock. The store closed at I think it was 9.
Mm.
So by the time we started filming, it was like 7:30 or whatever. So we filmed that whole thing in like an hour and a half, which is elite timing if you know how filming goes.
Hmm.
So I had the camera on the cart, and then I had her. It was tough because it was an outline. It wasn't like a real script to it. We didn't really have a script. It was kind of like a visual thought thing, and her walking and her doing this, and then him like kind of in his head. So as we was doing it, like we didn't have the voiceovers yet either. None of the voiceover lines were really there. It was just a storyline. So now we finish it. I'm thinking we got some fire, right? We go home. We from that night to the next to Sunday, we kind of doing the voiceovers in the house. So I'm like, okay, say this line,
Were y'all
apple juice line.
making it up as y'all watching
As
the
we watch
clips?
it
Yo.
back, we're like, so I edit the whole thing together. I'm like, oh, you could say the apple juice line. She actually came up with the lace front thing because she did wigs. So she's like, that was the last line we probably threw in there, which is funny because we was working all the way up and probably to like 10 minutes before we dropped it. Like let's change this line real quick. Say the apple juice line. The apple juice line hit, and that was like probably like the second to last line we threw in there. And then you know it was just like when we put it out, I put it out, and then I usually put something out and then go and like do something else because it just waiting for it to see what it's gonna do is just too great. So we play Call of Duty. I'm like, I just play Call of Duty. I'm playing it. My boy Dwayne calls me. I knew once he called, I knew something was going on. He's like, yo, son, I watched watched this shit 10 times. Then mad people hit me like, yo, what the fuck? I go online, it's going crazy. On Twitter, it's
That
out of
shit
here.
was fire though.
Yeah. My Instagram was going, I was like, yo, fuck. I said, I gotta make a page for it. I made the You From Brooklyn page. I said, oh shit, we should make my brain, so I said, we gotta make a series. So I made the YouTube page all like within 30 minutes, right then and there. I started thinking of a next storyline, and it was, that moment was so good. I wish uh COVID didn't happen because we had so much momentum. When COVID happened, we couldn't film it anywhere. We was gonna film it at last lap for the third episode, but like COVID happened, and then now we just like, oh shit, I don't know what to do, And I was so excited because we tried so long to get like a long form video on Instagram to go crazy. But I've been doing these cinematic like 2 minutes, trying to find like the people to stop and watch something. And when it went crazy, I'm like that video was like 2 minutes. But at that time, like even then, like now people just scroll by, and it was a wide screen. I'm like, I don't know, people might watch it, they might not. But like I knew starting off with Alexa would work, but I didn't know it was gonna be that. It just went crazy, and then the show You was on fire too. So it's like finding that was the moment that I found in that whole thing. Like I was saying earlier, like I know You was going crazy, so I'm like, okay, it was going viral too. So I'm like, if I put the You From Brooklyn, even though in the show he's from Brooklyn, he's from like Williamsburg or some shit, like in the actual show. But people knew what I meant, like You From Brooklyn, like just the hood version. And then people started copying that shit, like You From the Bronx. I seen You From New Orleans, but none of it hit. Like if you seen them shit, none of it hit. But our shit was like the first one on the map, and then people to this day still ask, like, "Are you from the show, right?" Like to this day, like people still want us to. We had the finale written, but it's like at this point, it's kind of like.
Do you have now I feel like we're interviewing because you mentioned the pandemic and at that time I feel like it was so much easier to go viral or just put stuff out because we were settled. Like we was
that's
so
true.
now that everything is fast paced again, do you have any way that you've been trying to like pivot to match that? Or you're just like, I'm putting stuff out and if it catch it don't.
Yeah, that's kind of my mental, because it's like I didn't have what I do is such a like everybody, not everybody needs it, but like it's such a thing that like everybody kind of, like a lot of companies always need something visual, or people like something visual is always needed somewhere. So like I don't have the like what I do isn't something where I have to go find another avenue because somebody always needs somebody to film and edit something. Like it's just something that in this day and age you need something visual. Like if you don't, you're kind of like. So I didn't really have to pivot anywhere. But in terms of my content, I always try to find new ways to get people's attention. So
you just adjusting.
Yeah, it's just kind of like I know it's a science to it for sure. Like I know in the first 3 seconds, whatever it is, unless you got Drake in your video, like you gotta hit them with what the thing is off the bat. Like okay, unless you got Drake like this next side by side,
you gotta start with a clickbait and then get them to see how we got there. It's like a BT movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's run through how I got here.
Yo, honestly, it's exactly. If you go back and watch my content, like all of it's like that, almost all of it. Like it starts with the thing, and then I got you hooked. Like I can slow it down. I could be like, oh yeah, we do this cinematic thing because I caught you in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So, and I try to like make the end lead up to that, and so that's the art of it. You know what I mean? Some people don't know that yet. Like I've seen people that I know that film, and they're still trying to find like the thing. They're trying to like do the slow like. Yeah, I'm gonna bring them, but nobody cares about that show.
It's not that nobody cares. It's just, you have to go with what people are doing now. Like people's attention span is just not there. No one is watching things. We're always distracted, so you have to get people's attention. Like the first.
They don't care. They only care if you make them care. Honestly, that's what I learned. They only care if you make them care.
If you got a big name in there, they'll care.
No. If you make them care, I have to make you care about it. Like if I have a video that it's like, oh, okay, this is something cool that I like, that what was that? I have to make you care about it. Other than that, why would you care about it? Why should you invest a minute? I mean, it's only a minute, but it's mad. You got like, let's say you got 1,000 people you follow. Okay, I'm gonna watch your video. Like, no, I scroll by this shit. Like, you know what I mean? So why should I stop? But if I make you care about like doing some crazy shit, and then now it's like, oh shit, like okay, now you got a storyline because now I caught you, but the rest of it isn't fluff either. Like it's like some real introspective shit. So you're like, oh, okay, that was dope. Like actually, because now I got you with the real meaty stuff because I caught you on the fluff. So now you're like kind of like, oh yeah, no, that was a dope ass story. I didn't realize, you know what I mean? But if I started with that, you're like,
Oh.
I'm not sure. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? So that's a sneaky way how I get.
Someone asked this earlier. I think this is a good question. They were asking, I'm gonna make it a two-part. What are your go-to cameras and what is your go-to editing software that you're using?
So my go-to camera is either my phone. Yeah, obviously on an iPhone. It's not about the everything. I'm not gonna lie. Like the last piece of the content I filmed on my phone. When I went to Paris, I brought a camera, but 90% of it I filmed on my phone. Like that whole
Is it
Rico
because
Love,
the phone is easier to manipulate? It's handheld, or
it's just easier to move around with. Like you don't look like the guy that's trying to film. Like I can't get in the venue now because I have big ass camera. Like I fuck all that shit. Like yeah, we're just here now. I can go crazy because I can just pull it out. Now you have to know what you're doing because you got to know how you want to edit it. Like I know if I'm gonna slow something down. Okay, I mean 4K 60. I'm gonna do it in slow motion. I'm gonna use cinematic mode to blur the background. Like I'm thinking really fast on my feet. Like when I film Rico, like when he's walking through, and then like Usher has this like recreate strip club or whatever. I know I'm gonna slow that down in the edit. So I'm okay, 4K 60 because 60 I can stretch it, slow it down. Immediately like boom, slow it down, catch him. And if he's talking, I might do 4K 24. You just kind of like really quick on your feet. But actual camera, if I'm, I can't just pull up to a real gig with my phone because people don't believe. Like I understand it because people don't think you get good quality out of it. So I have to you have to know that I could do it. So I usually film with an A7S3, Sony A7S3. That's like my go-to. You know what I mean? I've used every camera. You know what I mean? I've used Arri, Alexa, like Reds, but Instagram, like like if it looked good, it's like if you could edit it good and you have like intent on the story, then you good. You know what I mean? It's really about your eye. Like if you don't have an eye, then you.
I was gonna say that. So you rely mostly on this is like creative genius shit. Like, oh, it doesn't matter what I'm filming on. If I know what I'm filming and I know what editing software I'm gonna use, I can make it look appealing.
Yes,
Are you editing on like how to do this in editing class? Not Adobe Premiere Pro. What's the other one?
I'm using Final Cut. I'm using Final Cut. But yeah. Okay.
What's Final the Cut other
Pro.
one?
I can use all of them.
I had to take an editing class. You had to take a test.
Probably DaVinci. You got DaVinci Resolve. You got Adobe Premiere. You got Avid.
Yes, that was it. Avid.
And that
I had to take a test for that, become Avid certified, and I passed. And I just never did nothing with it.
Wow! Now to be Avid certified is fire. I'm not even Avid certified, but that's fire.
Because
that's like some movie
for my degree, my bachelor's in media studies and production. I took an editing class, and the whole class we had to we're learning how to pass the test, but we're doing projects in the class. And I took the test, and and I went to a predominantly white school. I think it was like 25 of us in the class. Me and like 7 other people passed and became Avid certified. And I was like, oh, this is cool to brag about, but did I do something with it? Absolutely not. And I feel like I missed out on the bag because I could have just been practicing and been good at editing.
That's true. Like editing it's like for people, it's one of the hardest things because it's so time consuming. So that's the level. That's why editors, you could really charge whatever you want. Like I've seen editors charge. When I worked on translation, that's what kind of opened my mind. I was working there full time, but then a freelance editor came in. He was literally there for only a week. I was just like, yeah, like, so how much they getting you? Like, I just asked him. He was like, oh, I'm getting like 10K. I was like, what? For 1 week? I was like, oh, nah.
Let me put this in my bio. I also edit, you guys. Hire me.
Shit is crazy because the time, you're paying for the person's time, and it's so time consuming.
It's tedious.
I could do it really fast because like I could do it fast because I learned the science behind what will get people's attention, and so you kind of go straight for that. But it's really tedious, and you have to really there's a lot of brain muscle you're using, even if it's subconscious.
Oh
Like
my God,
if I'm
singing,
moving on,
audio, all of that. I think that's why I didn't want to
yeah,
do.
that
Because
shit
my
is
goal was I'm going to be editing feature films. Yeah, right. A film was like 2 hours long. You know how much clips that? No.
oh, that shit is work. It's really you're the glue to the entire thing. Like, and I could fuck with people's brain. I like it because I could fuck with people's brains. Like, they're like, I could film you the entire night, but the way I put it together is it could
Tell a
take you to another atmosphere. You're
story
like, yo,
every time.
what? Like the music choice? Like, oh, I like to fuck with heads up with the music choice. Nobody, just music is my thing. So I'm like, I always try to find something that's like, oh shit, I wouldn't thought of that, and it's all about this because you can edit for yourself, like, but you're entertaining, like that's really what it is. I'm trying to entertain the audience, so
Mm-hmm.
it's the same thing as making music. I can make a song for myself, but if the fans don't fuck with it, take this, turn this shit off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when I'm on Instagram, I'm like, okay, how could I fuck with people's heads? Like, okay, I think this is dope to me, but if I was somebody else scrolling, does this work? Like, does this make sense, or is it like too much? Is it too much going on, or can I understand it? You know what I'm saying? So, I try to find different ways to, fuck with people's mentals. You know what I'm saying?
You are
So,
like a creative genius. I'm so happy I invited you on here. Like I learned so much.
man, I'm gonna do a class too. Like, I'm gonna definitely tell you when I'm doing. It's gonna be an intro to content creation. Intro to content creation. That's what it's gonna be called.
Come on,
Yeah.
Go. What's some last advice you can give to those who probably want to get into, I guess, film and videography?
If you want to get into film making, just start. Really, honestly, no,
That's
just
valid.
start.
Just
Like,
do it.
just start. Because that is the hardest part. Like, you'll be like, oh, I don't got the right equipment. Like, you'll be say that for forever. Because there's gonna be some new shit that come out. Just use your phone. Like, if it's good, if the story is good, people will watch. I learned, like, if it's good, the moment is fire. The content is good. People are watching. They don't care about that one little mistake you made in the edit. Oh shit! Like, damn, shit gotta be perfect. People don't even realize, like, they don't know shit. So just put the shit out. If the story is fire, if it's a moment, you're gonna get an audience. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just keep on. But you have to do it consistently. Don't like try to be perfect too much. You could,
Just do
because
it.
I think you could be, if you're trying to be perfect, then you're gonna put it out. But you can become quote unquote like perfect by
You could get
consistently
better.
fucking up. By consistently fucking up. Like, if you put it out, the more you put it out, you're gonna find different ways to do it better. But if you don't put it out, you will never know because nobody's gonna critique it or nobody's gonna be.
No one's gonna be able to give you feedback and critique it.
Yeah, they be like, I like it's nothing worse than somebody with like great potential, but now how long you gonna live off the potential? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, man, my man's is dope. Like, he's dope. I'm telling you, it's my man's. He's like, you like, oh, let me see his shit. Like, oh yeah, he's still working on that shit. Like, yeah, you can't. Like, everybody knows somebody like that, and it's like, damn, it sucks. Like, if you just put this shit out, they'd be out of here. But that's why some people that's whack, cause they out of here because
They
it was consistent.
confident.
Like,
They don't
they
believe they
don't
win.
care. Yeah, like, so, you know what I'm saying? You got to keep on doing that shit. Somebody's gonna notice how good you are. Like, you can't. Like, somebody would rather sit at the table with somebody talented over somebody with money. Like, if somebody has money, right? Like if I had a lot of money, but I wasn't talented, and it was they had like somebody they had like a table full of people, like, but they would rather bring somebody that's talented to the table rather than if I just had a lot of money because the money isn't okay. That's cool, but the talent, like if somebody can play the piano really good, oh no, I need him over here. Yo, this is my man Stevie. My man Stevie is nice on. Yo, watch, yo, do this shit on the piano real quick. Like, you want Like it is when it's mad talented people in the room, the energy is just high. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like it's always like just do this shit so people can see it and you know get
I
that
like
shit off.
put that in
And
for
and
just do.
brand yeah, and brand yourself too, because you know a lot of you I like to be in the background, but fuck that shit. Like no, like like be brand yourself. Like if you're Spike Lee, I'm Spike Lee. If you're, you know what I mean, all these directors got brands because they brand themselves. They have a signature. Like I have my signature. Like I'm if I'll show myself. People know me for me, and it's like I'm showing myself. I'm not, hiding behind the camera the whole time. Where it's like, oh, this is dope, but I don't really know who he is. You know, if you're personable, people hire you for that before
Mm-hmm.
the video. Then So
It's crazy because my other guest, Templeton, he said the same thing. He was like, people fuck with the personality
that's
more.
my God. This was my God too.
Yeah. And something else you said that kind of leads into this too. Try everything.
Yeah, everything. Just do it. You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
even
Like,
if you don't think you can, just try it. You never know if you don't try. I know that sounds cliche, but people really don't be out here trying everything. They see someone doing something and they want to do it based off what it looks like it does feel like. Someone will come to your page. They would say, he's having so much fun. He's traveling. I want to do what he's doing. Probably try to do what you're doing and not like it because you didn't try everything. You just saw one person doing something and don't even know what it took to get there. And now you out
right.
here crazy.
You just want to do it because you think it's gonna pop, but it usually don't work like that ever.
Nope.
Like you're not skipping steps. That's the first thing I learned. You can't go from A to Z. You have to you have to go A B C D E F. If you skip a step, you're gonna end up having to revisit S
Those
and
same
T
steps.
somewhere down the line, and when you revisit it, it's gonna fuck you up. It's not gonna be, oh shit, I just learned. You're like, damn, I just lost this $100,000 gig because I wanted to not get this piece of equipment because I thought I could do it. Not just get the goal. You gotta go through the mud with it. Like if you gotta film on an iPhone starting out, that's what you gotta do. You know what I mean? But if you're talented, you'll grow into
Mhm.
the big
Don't
shit.
force.
Yeah, don't force it. Don't be don't for well I'm not don't force it. Like try everything, but don't force it if um it's
Don't
just
force it
not
to stick.
you. Yeah, if it's not you, like don't just don't do it. You know what I mean? It's not you. Like you don't have that. You don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't like if like one of my mans one time I was doing a party, he said, yo, like you could film all the girls and like go up to them because that's your vibe. Like I got social anxiety. Like I'm not like I can't do it. Like I respected him saying that. Like I could do that because it don't bother me. But like to him, he's like he'd rather just kind of be in the back and get his shit off. Which you know what I mean? That's his style. But
All right, do what you know.
do what you do. But if he forced it, the girls would be like, "Yo, get this loose out of my face!" And who is
Because
this nigga? Like I've
people
seen that
be
too.
so awkward, and
It's it's
that awkwardness is
it
going
comes
off, and
off.
it's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Get this camera out.
You fucking creep. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, nah, that shit. So, you gotta know what you good at. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's coming looking at me like, oh, I'm some weirdo because I don't come up. I just go up to them like, yeah, I'm supposed to be here. So, I mean, you want to be fire. And if you really say no, if I really want to, if I feel like your aesthetic is fire enough, I would, like, I'll show you some, like, yo, look, this shit gonna look like this. Like, and they're like, oh, all right, like, you can do it. Like, you know what I mean? But,
Like, come on, I need this shot. Look.
yeah, like, man, look what I be doing. You know what I'm saying? But, you know,
Well, thank you, Carl, so much. I think this is really good. This is probably like the longest episode I've had. This is like an hour and 24 minutes.
I could talk, man. I'm full.
But
Could
what
talk.
do you have next? And then we're gonna end off. Like, what do you have coming next? And also tell the people where to find you if they want to hire you, book you.
So, okay, what do I have next
Mm-hmm.
is it's so many things like me and my brother gonna be doing some dope stuff. It's not gonna be you from Brooklyn, but something along those lines. I'm not gonna
Like
say
another
it,
web
but
series type of thing.
yeah, but it's I yes,
You don't
but
want to share too much? Is that it?
yeah, but
Okay.
it's not gonna be you from Brooklyn though. But I still might do that last finale because we would do actually, and I have it written. Like the whole finale is written, and it's fire. Like it's OD fire. So I might get that off, but so got that coming next. And what was the other question again? You said there was another question after that.
Letting people know where to find you and.
Oh yeah, so my IG, which is here, Karl Luns, Twitter, Karl Luns, YouTube,
KarlLunz.
yes,
What do you?
Vimeo.com, Vimeo.com/Karl Luns if you want to see, all my work. I got a bunch of stuff on there that don't have on Instagram, so RBK, so we come back soon, I had to take a break, because it was like trying to do that, and so yeah, we're gonna be back
I can't
soon.
go to that every time y'all have one. I gotta be like, I need a break.
Yo, that's shit.
I need to go like every 3 months or 4 months. I can't go every time it's one, because then I'm gonna get tired of it. Number one.
Yeah.
And I just be in there falling out. So
you have like probably some of the best moments there. Like the videos you got, you was so fire. It's hilarious.
What? I see these videos because I don't have no content.
You don't have it? Oh shit! And I can send you. I gotta buy all. Mind you, I film all those videos on my phone, like on the RBK page. Like, I haven't ever used a camera when I film that.
I can say delete that.
Yeah, I can't. It's too late. I have a. No, not view your footage. But I was gonna say, like, if you want to get something that you want to do off, just find a way to use your other talent to kind of bridge it together. Like when we did RBK, like I started promoting it by just doing like these cinematic commercials for it. No, I know for a fact no one's ever done that. Like that, I can say I've never in history seen anybody do a pre-party commercial. That's not like a basic video in the party of like a fire girl walking at the bar. Like it was like a real conceptual, dialogue scene.
Yeah, y'all be
like, oh shit,
full blown,
Super Bowl like, commercials. You know what I mean? So it's like, but that's what I mean by like trying things and like just being different, because nobody's seen that before. And it's like, oh shit, and you're promoting something, so I'm giving you action to do at the end of the video. You're like, oh shit, like people have came just based off the video. Like a lot of people just off of like, yo, like this was so fun.
The storytelling is top tier. I'm not gonna lie. I love when I'm trying to tell friends to come in, like, what's that? I'm like, oh, I can write this shit on this video. I need to come to this. And that's even before you were doing those, I was coming already. Yeah. So I'm like, oh yeah, I can ready. I'm telling y'all it's lit.
So it's like, yeah, so it's got a bunch of stuff coming, so it's gonna be a good year.
I definitely need to utilize you for like, I want to do like a, not a reel, no, it is a reel, because I need a book me type of promo for my page, the pen.
Yeah, no, for sure. We could do some fun.
And I'm thinking of booking you, but you expensive. I gotta afford you.
We could do some fire, man.
But thank you so much. Make sure you guys follow Karl at KarlLunz. If you're not, this is mostly for the YouTube people. Follow the Backflow page, BAGTLKW.JIJI. And yeah, this is it. This is the longest.
What you gotta do? You're gonna eventually have to do these in person too. That'll change the game.
My interviews.
Yeah, like do an actual show, like a sit down drink.
I thought about that. It's just easier to go live.
No, it's easier, but when you do it in person, like the energy is there, and like you could salvage the interview, like it could hold on longer, because it's like it's not like kind of through the screen. Like you know what I mean, you just try it, like try somebody like, oh, let me just interview you, or I'll do it, like I'll just come and you know what I mean, just set the cameras up, and then now it's in person. People are like, oh shit, like they can see you and you can see the energy, you know what I mean. So I think that would go off.
I mean, because when I used to do my podcast, it was in person.
Yeah.
And then bring it back. I've done this Instagram. I've done it this way because I know I have people who don't live in New York, so it's easier for me to be like, can you get on Instagram Live?
Right.
And also, I don't know, I just feel like it's more. I want to give people access to people like that you probably wouldn't have access to. Right. So like the reason I go live is because like if you just happen to jump on the live, you can ask the questions here. Right, as opposed to the episode 8 already, you still got questions. You can get your questions answered here.
That's true.
I mean, that's it for now until I really take off with it, because I'm not even really as consistent as I should be with it.
Yeah.
Because I have so much going on, but it'll get there.
Nah, this is fire. This is good.
Thank you.
This is fire.
But thank you, Karl. I appreciate you.
Of course. I'll see you soon.
When you want to see me?
I'm sure soon. RBK or something. Like.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna send you that information too, since you in LA.
All right. Yeah, let me know.
Later.
All right.